New York City has seen its skyline touched by daredevils before, base jumpers, wire walkers, men and women who look at a building and see not a structure but a challenge. But on the 1st of July 2026, two people did something that had never been done in the same way. They did not simply reach the top of the Empire State Building, they turned it into a proposal. And within 24 hours, they turned it into a criminal case. This is the story of Ivan Kuznetsov and Angelina Nikolau. Online, the world knows them as Ivan Birkus and Angela Nikolau. To Netflix audiences, they are the subjects of a 2024 documentary called Skywalkers, a Love Story. To the New York Police Department, as of July 2026, they are defendants, felony defendants. And to each other, as of that afternoon above Manhattan, they are fiancés. Their story did not begin on the Empire State Building. It began, according to investigators, the night before. Sources with knowledge of the investigation told reporters that Nikolau and Kuznetsov entered the Empire State Building on a Tuesday evening, using tickets purchased like any other visitor. But they did not leave when the building closed. According to law enforcement, the couple stayed behind, hidden somewhere inside one of the most famous office towers on Earth, waiting through the night for the building to empty and the corridors to fall silent. This detail matters. It separates what happened next from a spontaneous stunt. It suggests planning, preparation, a couple who studied the building, understood its rhythms, and picked their moment. At approximately 5 in the morning on Wednesday, July 1st, a security camera captured the two moving through a hatch on the 102nd floor. Investigators allege that to continue their climb, the pair broke a lock on a security door on the 104th floor, the door that stood between the public areas of the building and its restricted upper reaches, including the access point to the broadcasting antenna. That antenna is not decoration. It rises from the top of the tower to a total height of 1,454 feet above the street. It carries broadcast signals for the city. It was never built to be climbed. And that morning, according to prosecutors, that is exactly what two people intended to do. By afternoon, the two had made their way to the very top of the spire. They were dressed in black, their faces were covered, and they were notably unharnessed. No ropes, no safety line, no net between them and 1,100 feet of open air. Helicopter footage captured what happened next, broadcast live to television audiences, and streamed across social media in real time. At the summit, the couple unfurled a large black banner. In white lettering it read, "When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace." A line with echoes of a quote long attributed to Jimi Hendrix. For several minutes, according to the New York Police Department, the two remained at the top of the structure as cameras rolled below and above them. Then they began their descent down the spire itself. It was during that descent, partway down, still far above the city, still in view of the cameras that had gathered, that Kuznetsov got down on one knee. Nikolau said yes. They embraced, they kissed, and moments later, as they continued their descent, officers from the NYPD's Emergency Service Unit, the department's most highly trained, tactical climbing team, were making their own ascent to bring the pair down safely. Investigators later revealed that officers could not immediately reach the couple during the stunt itself, because the antenna had to be powered down first, for safety reasons, before anyone could approach. When Nikolau and Kuznetsov finally reached solid ground, they were taken into custody. There on the pavement below the tower they had just conquered, an engagement that began above the clouds, ended in handcuffs. To understand why two people would risk this, it helps to understand who they are. Angelina Nikolau, 33, and Ivan Kuznetsov, 32, are Russian nationals who currently list an address in East Orange, New Jersey. Online, they are known collectively as roof-toppers, a term for climbers who scale tall buildings and structures, typically without permission and typically without safety equipment, then document the experience for social media audiences that combined number more than 1.5 million followers. Their story reached mainstream audiences in 2024 when Netflix released Skywalkers, a Love Story, a documentary following the couple's relationship and their history of illegally climbing some of the tallest structures in the world. In the film, Nikolau described the pull she feels toward height. She explained that she was raised by parents who worked in the circus, and that her early years around acrobatics shaped the way she saw the world above her. She described looking up at rooftops and feeling as though they were calling to her, a chance, in her words, to touch the sky. Kuznetsov, in the same documentary, described his own relationship with climbing in different terms. He spoke of a difficult home life, and of how ascending buildings gave him a sense of freedom he could not find on the ground. He said that the higher he climbed, the easier it became to breathe. In the trailer for that same documentary, Nikolau offered a line that in hindsight, reads almost like a preview of what was to come. She said that love is like height, that the fear never fully disappears, but a person simply gets better at facing it. By July of 2026, the two had taken that philosophy and applied it to New York City's most recognizable skyscraper. The consequences arrived fast. Both Nikolau and Kuznetsov were charged with multiple felony counts, including burglary, reckless endangerment, and criminal mischief. On top of the felonies, they also face a list of misdemeanor charges: possession of burglar's tools, criminal tampering, criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and a violation of local law. They were held overnight, spending what should have been the first night of their engagement in separate holding cells, still dressed in the same black climbing clothes they had worn on the tower. The next morning, Thursday, July 2nd, they appeared before a judge in Manhattan Criminal Court for arraignment. The judge ordered supervised release, describing it as release at a low level. They were free to leave, for now. But the case against them was just beginning. If you're watching till now, kindly like and subscribe. Outside the courthouse, the tone shifted from courtroom formality to something closer to a red carpet. Photographers and reporters had gathered, and as the newly engaged couple exited, they kissed for the cameras. Kuznetsov, speaking to reporters afterwards, said simply, "We love New York." It was a strange and telling moment, a couple facing years of potential legal consequences, expressing affection for the very city prosecuting them. As the case has moved through the courts, one figure has taken center stage on behalf of the couple: defense attorney Jason Krinsky. Krinsky's central argument has remained consistent from the beginning. He has stated publicly the Manhattan District Attorney's Office overcharged the case. Speaking after the arraignment, he suggested that prosecutors were sending a message with the severity of the charges, and he characterized what his clients did in far gentler terms, as in his words, a message of love. Krinsky has expanded on that argument in the weeks since, asserting that the stunt did not put building occupants or visitors at any real risk. His position is that the charges, particularly the felony counts, do not match the actual danger, or lack of danger, created by the climb. He has also raised a concern that goes beyond the criminal courtroom entirely: the threat of deportation. Because Nikolau and Kuznetsov are foreign nationals, a felony conviction carries consequences that extend far past fines or probation. It could threaten their ability to remain in the United States altogether. Krinsky has acknowledged that a plea negotiation could be a possibility, but he has been clear that deportation risk complicates any resolution the defense might otherwise consider straightforward. The case has continued to unfold through the summer. The couple has made repeated court appearances in the weeks since their arraignment, each one drawing the same crowd of photographers, and each one ending, more often than not, with the same public displays of affection on the courthouse steps. Ahead of one recent hearing, Nikolau posted a message on Instagram that seemed to address the case directly, without naming it. She wrote that humanity has always been moved forward by people who refuse to accept existing boundaries as final. People who asked uncomfortable questions, took risks, and kept moving toward what seemed impossible. She suggested that a world without people like that would be a quieter, lesser place. In another post ahead of a separate court date, the couple struck a more contrite tone, writing that whatever happens in court, they would respect the process and accept the consequences of their choices. Those two messages, one defiant, one accepting, capture the tension at the heart of this case. Nikolau and Kuznetsov do not appear to fully repudiate what they did, but they also appear to understand that the American legal system does not measure their actions by the same standard their social media followers do. Prosecutors, for their part, have continued to pursue the case as originally charged. Their argument centers on what the couple allegedly did to gain access: entering under false pretenses as ordinary visitors, hiding overnight inside a fully occupied commercial building, breaking through a locked security door, and climbing into a restricted zone that houses active broadcasting equipment, more than 1,400 feet above street level. To prosecutors, this was not simply an audacious climb. It was, according to the charges filed, a burglary, an unlawful entry into a space the couple had no right to occupy, followed by intentional damage to property meant to keep that space secure. The most recent hearing took place in late August, with the case format remaining the same: appearance, silence on plea, departure past a bank of cameras. The next scheduled court date is September 29th, when the case is expected to move further toward resolution. Whether that resolution comes through a negotiated plea or continues toward trial remains, as of this recording, unknown. Strip away the cameras, the Instagram captions, and the choreography of kisses on courthouse steps, and what remains is a case built on a genuinely difficult question. Where is the line between an act of romantic spectacle and a criminal act of trespass? Nikolau and Kuznetsov did not injure anyone. No visitors were harmed. No structural damage beyond a broken lock has been alleged. Their defense leans heavily on this point, that despite the hype, despite the audacity, nobody was hurt. But the prosecution's case does not rest solely on injury. It rests on access, on what it means to break into restricted areas of a fully staffed, fully operational building in the middle of Manhattan. On what it means to disable a broadcasting antenna serving an entire city, even temporarily, for the sake of a personal moment. And on what kind of precedent it sets if two people can climb one of the most secure landmarks in America and walk away from it engaged, world-famous, and facing only the mildest of consequences. For Ivan Kuznetsov and Angelina Nikolau, the climb has already given them what they may have wanted most: a permanent place in the mythology of New York City, a story that will follow them for the rest of their lives, and a proposal witnessed not by a handful of friends but by an entire planet watching a helicopter live stream. Whether it also gives them a criminal record, or worse, in their case, deportation from the country they say they love, is a question that New York's courts have not yet answered. The Empire State Building has stood since 1931. It has weathered depressions, wars, a plane crash into its 79th floor in 1945, and decades of daredevils who tried to conquer it in one way or another. Most of those attempts ended quietly, forgotten by history. This one did not. This one ended with a ring, a kiss 1,100 feet above Fifth Avenue, and a case file that is still, as of this recording, open. Subscribe to Behind the Case File for more true crime investigations, covered with accuracy and respect.